Hi, we're continuing the discussion about quality directors and their job function as a way to see what quality management systems should be. We look at the next thing on their job description. It says that they establish raw material standards by studying manufacturing and engineering requirements, conferring and negotiating with suppliers, and devising testing methods and procedures. So let's take this step by step. Establishes raw material standards by studying manufacturing and engineering requirements. So engineering designs a product. The engineers get together, they decide the best way for the product to go together, marketing approves it, and then we're left with needing to acquire material. What the quality manager or director and quality staff also have to watch out, along with purchasing personnel and even the engineers who design themselves. Uh, if the engineer specified outside material that we have to purchase and we're not making in-house, we have to make sure that the correct document for procuring those items is in place. Because we have to watch out for the engineer may have picked well-performing devices or done some screening of components or some selection because of size or performance that may not be representative of what the customer normally sells to the marketplace. So the quality department has to work with the engineers to make sure that if there are any special requirements that they're outlined in the procurement spec. Otherwise, production is going to have problems. Now, manufacturing, on the other hand, once we start going into volume production, there may be difficulty because the components do not come in the same way that we bought the first lot or two. The customer may have picked some of the better performing devices, or definitely did ultra inspection to ensure they had the best aesthetic looking product that they sent for evaluation. And when manufacturing now is trying to produce large volumes of the product, there's a variation. So the quality team has to be supportive of manufacturing and work through issues. If there's a requirement that the customer is not meeting, then the quality department helps work through that along with purchasing. When we talk about conferring and negotiating with suppliers, now that activity is often done by purchasing and the staff that acquire and select components. Quality helps to make sure that the documentation that is put in place is correct. The other thing we have to make sure of is that the supplier is also represented correctly. Because if we are expecting that there's performance that they didn't sign up to deliver to us, we have to have the quality director work to a solution. In this case, they may have to side with the supplier. So it's tough in discussions at some point in time, because even though the quality director works in our organization, it's their requirement to come to the best solution for the parties that are involved. Now, if the customer or our supplier is sending us bad parts, then that quality director has to work like a lion or a bear and defend the company if that's needed. So we do have to have specifications in place that ensure that we get the parts that we expect. The last piece here was devising testing methods and procedures, and generally these are testing methods at incoming inspection. So they aren't necessarily test methods that are out in production at this point. This is looking at raw materials, so they would be requirements that need to be met at incoming. So we have our incoming test requirements. So that's it for this week. Have a great week.